Yes, sir. Welcome back to the 10 Lions podcast. I'm your boy, Jelani Lyon. This is episode 60. In this episode, we'll be discussing not this again and more. So make sure you watch all the way into the end so you don't miss a single thing. Also, like, comment, and share. Let's get everything situated correctly. Yeah, so in this episode, we will be discussing the new Not This Again with Drake and Bobbi Althoff. I watched Not This Again, so you don't have to, or at least 30 minutes of it. The whole thing is an hour and 30 minutes. I tapped out after 30 minutes because I was like, I feel like I've seen enough. But yeah, this is Drake and Bobbi Althoff back at it again, in a bed setup interview discussing whatever they want to discuss. When I watched it up into like, honestly, you can skip like the first 10 minutes of it because honestly, them both being like chatty and catty and going back and forth with each other, like kind of like two girls. But once you get after the 10-minute mark, they start talking about a relationship and their first interview interaction and whatnot, and the changes that occurred afterward and whatnot. So yeah, again, only watched the first 30 minutes of it. I'll probably watch the next hour of it afterward. But this is a Drake that we haven't seen before, that in like the last 20 years he's actually opening up to Bobbi, like on top of being like super catty, like borderline feminine and like jokey with him, with her. He is also opening up to Bobbi Althoff in a way that we haven't seen him open up before, especially in an interview setting and whatnot. But ultimately, it is a little bit like, what is the point, for lack of better words? But we got this open live, so I can literally bring y'all to the comments. Let's see what the comments are saying. Someone said Drake's first interview in years being with Bobbi is amazing. Is it amazing? Like, is that sarcasm? Because let's see what the replies to that is. Bobbi, Drake, Iceman soon. I think his last one was with her too. Drake once said if amazing was a young girl, he'd be fucking amazing. That's crazy. All right. Someone said, I love how Drake don't give a F about what people think. He's just living his real life, rich as hell. What do y'all think? Me personally, I think he should care a little bit more what people think of him and the actions that he's taking. I think the fact that he doesn't care is why he's ended up in the different negative shoes that he's been in recently. That's just me. Though someone said the way Drake kept interrupting Bobbi about her and her friend sneaking drugs through customs. That's hilarious. I didn't see that part. I gotta go back to watch that part. Someone said, damn, Drake is so self-aware. I don't know if that's a sarcasm. He was talking about being sensitive, like, or not sensitive, but like saying that I guess Bobbi Althoff had said that she feels like they beefed, they argued. She blamed a lot of the backlash she got, especially after her divorce. She blamed a lot of that on Drake because the internet was blaming that on Drake. Like, felt like Drake came between her marriage, or the interview messed up her marriage, and she chose fame and fortune over her kids, and da 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 da. So she ended up lashing out at Drake, and Drake, instead of like having that, having either apologizing or having that conversation or whatever, he said, okay, F it, take down the episode, I'm blocking you, we're not friends anymore, da 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 da. So it's just like, when someone, I guess he was self-aware by saying he was sensitive to when people blame him for things or whatever. I don't know if that's being self-aware or if that's like a way of not taking accountability, like for saying that you were wrong in that instance. But maybe it is. Maybe that is being self-aware. I don't know. Someone said motherfuckers at Hogwarts. Yeah, they are not in the trenches. They are in like the freaking mountainous view. They're in Switzerland. Obviously a slight flex for Drake and whatnot. It's definitely a dope. I think the first time they were with their first bedroom interview, it was like either backstage or like on a stage setup because he was on tour and he like did that like spontaneously or whatever. But I guess Drake and Bobbi have been chilling for like a week, and this is what it's led up to with this Not This Again interview and whatnot. They're in Switzerland, they've been in Belgium and whatever. Because Drake's got like that to spend, obviously. Someone said here before the brainless comments, thinking she left her kids, and then Bobbi. I think Bobbi liked this comment, so that's kind of funny, honestly. Someone said I would do it, like in quotation marks, quoting Drake, and he said, and then they said, I think bro did it. I have no idea about that. Like honestly, I don't know if Bobbi Althoff and Drake have relations and whatnot. It's not necessarily my business and whatnot, but yeah, let me know what y'all think. Someone in the comments said literally like brother and sister. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could look at it like that. Like in the first 10 minutes, first 10 minutes was a hard watch, because it was just like, why am I listening to these two bicker? Someone said, or someone quoted Drake, and he said, "You never seen someone ice rosé. Talk to every jeweler in Miami with fake diamonds. That's crazy." I guess he's still taking shots at Rick Ross. I don't even like that's funny that he takes shots at Rick Ross, because Rick Ross was like his big homie for the fucking for at least 10 years. Like him and Wayne were both Euro G's for like 10 years or more. But I get it. That's the pettiness of the beef or whatever. I'm sure I would be surprised if Rick Ross don't respond like on social media or whatever. Someone said they're back. I don't know why this has me this happy and curious, but it does. Someone said she totally missed the Rick Ross snub. Of course she would. And someone said he's so unintentionally funny. Again, I saw the first 30 minutes. I'll probably watch the next hour left of it afterward. But Drake doesn't seem funny. Drake seems more, again, he's opening up. He's being honest and real. But it's like, it's also showing that side that like this interview says a lot about Drake, more so than it says about Bobbi. Bobbi is just she's getting a good, like, this is a good opportunity. This is a good opportunity for Bobbi. But for Drake, it shows that you are most comfortable with a white woman, a white person, instead of people that look like you, people that are true hip hop connoisseurs or rap connoisseurs, or like, it just doesn't. And even he mentioned like saying that, like he was kind of like nodding it off that like he could have. So I guess his friend asked him why is he doing this, and he was like, like this is, we kind of he took credit for it and like kind of like said that they started not a movement, but saying that like they ushered in a new way of, I don't know, interacting or whatever. Like basically, and he compared it to Nicki Minaj and Kai Cenat, like two people from two different worlds coming together for a moment or whatever. And that's like he feels like that's what Drake and or Bobby and him did with their first interview, which I thought was absolutely bonkers. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like I said, I watched it. I watched 30 minutes of it, so y'all didn't have to. Um, but let's get into why does Drake feel so comfortable talking with Bobbi Althoff? Like I said, this is the most comfortable. Like he's loafered up, guys loafers on in bed talking to Bobbi Althoff, and not just like talking like surface level. He's like open. It's almost like a therapy session. And he feels so comfortable looking in her eyes, being in a bed with her, being this close with her. And I think it's less about. I mean, I think it's partially about her being a woman, but I truly believe that. And if you, even if you like, it doesn't have to necessarily be a belief, but if you look deeper than the surface, like she's a white woman, obviously, and he feels comfortable. And not only is she a white woman, but Drake's mom, Sandra, is a white woman. So he's been raised by, and this is kind of what Kendrick alluded to, he's been raised by and sheltered by and like knows no struggle, knows no trenches, was on Degrassi, was an actor, became famous and rich, and he's always confided in a white woman. And that's no shade, that's no disrespect and whatnot. But when you it gets tricky with Drake because when you use some, it's similar to like a MGK or a Post Malone. When you use black culture and hip hop culture and rap culture and these all these different things, and then you're most comfortable, you're not even really comfortable talking and interviewing or showing accountability or representation or unity or any of these different things that are are significant to a culture. You're only comfortable doing that with a white woman or a white man like Aiden Ross or like Boy, whatever you want to call him. Like that says a lot about you and how you view rap culture. Like it's very similar to who started off rapping about being white Iverson or whatever, and then now he's doing strictly country music, strictly pop music. It's very reminiscent of MGK, who started off rapping, being a real rapper, and now he's doing mostly rock music and pop music and whatnot. But you, who portray as a black man or as a biracial man, or a man of color, but you use that. It seems like you use that to your advantage for your success, but that's not truly what you represent. And even here, listening to him talk, listening to him open up, I've never heard Drake open up like this, the way that he opens up with Bobbi Althoff. Like you'll never see him in an interview. He has had different interviews with people. He has had interviews, or he was on Funk Flex years ago. He was on, I think Angie Martinez had an interview with him. I think he's even had an interview with Elliot. No, I know that he's had an interview with Elliot Wilson and Elliot Wilson's man. I don't know his name, but they were both at Drake's mansion. But people ask why he interviews with Bobbi Althoff or doesn't interview at all or sits with Aiden Ross. It's like, unfortunately, Drake just goes where he will maintain control. He will either maintain control or he's comfortable. His comfortability level is at its peak. Like if he went to the Joe Budden podcast, he wouldn't have control over the environment. Like if he went to Sway, and that's debatable. Like, but likely he still wouldn't have control over the topic or control over the environment. If he went to Funk Flex, he definitely wouldn't have control over the environment and the people. Um, that those type of people will ask him questions that people actually want to know, such as like what happened with you and Kendrick, what's been happening with you since you and Kendrick, since the beef. Um, where did you go? Where did you go wrong? What did you? How do you feel about him saying that you are basically a culture vulture, and basically like take from black culture and take from the hip hop culture, and you don't, and you like you exude very very reminiscent qualities of someone who like a colonist, and there are different things like that. Like, what would you say to that, Drake? And like that's why he's in bed and sitting with a Bobbi Althoff. He also does it. It's very telling too where his morals are and his character, because you're not going to see Kendrick or J. Cole or Jay-Z or Nas or Fab or Jadakiss or anybody, damn near anybody, in a bed with a woman, a white woman, but a woman regardless, like any like in an interview format. Like you're like this is highly inappropriate that you're normalizing because you're Drake. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And it's just again, it's very telling that he's so like people in the comments were saying that they love that he doesn't care about what people think, but it's very telling that that's not always a good thing, because clearly when you're so oblivious to the room and what people are saying about you and what you're showing about yourself, you can continue to spiral. You can continue to go down the wrong path. You can continue to be a poor example for your son, for black boys that look up to you, for the next generation. Da 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 da. Like you're not like there's a reason why it's important to read the room. There's a reason why it's important to not only be self-aware but listen to what is being said about you. But yeah, Sandra. Let me pull up Sandra. Sandra Drake's mom. Like, ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. How do we blow this up? Anyway, but this is Drake's mom. This right here, I don't know how to blow it up though. Like this is Drake's mom. If I could blow it just a little bit more, that'd be cool. That'd be great. Ooh, that's fire. Yeah, this is Drake's mom. This is Sandra. I guess Sandra Graham. But this is who Drake has been confiding in for the last almost 40 years. Since he was a kid, since he got on Degrassi, since he became a rapper, got with Wayne, the highs and lows of his career this is who he has confided in. So it makes perfect sense when you know that, when you see that, you know that he's been raised by a white woman. And there's no shade to his mom, obviously, but it's very telling why he doesn't sit with people of the culture. He doesn't sit with black people like a
to do.
I'm sorry, and I'm really glad.
Why is everyone using
he doesn't sit with a Funk Flex or a Joe Budden or a Sway or a like different people. Like even I wouldn't necessarily want to see him sit with Wayne, but like there's different people in the culture that you could sit with, have a conversation that honestly your fans would probably enjoy seeing you have. as opposed to sitting with Bobbi Althoff. Like, nobody really wants to see this except for, and again, the only people that maybe wanted to see this is her fans or her fan base or her target audience, which is majority white people. So again, it's just like it's just so weird. It's weird and it's not weird when you think about it. Like, it's when you think about the fact that he's been raised by a white woman to being almost 40 and feeling the most comfortable talking to and interviewing with a white woman. It makes total sense, but it also it's very weird, especially as a former or not former big Drake fan, to see that the guy that I've been a fan of or loved his music or thought he was being very real in his songs, which resonated with me because it was hip hop, because it was rap, because it was R&B, because it was black culture. Really, when you get down to it, it really was an opportunity, or it was a facade, it was a disguise, because this is really who you truly align with, who you truly, again, there's so many things that is said about you for who you choose to sit with and align with. There's nothing, again, there's no shade to his mom, there's no shade to Bobbi Althoff, there's no shade to Aiden Ross either, even though I don't really care for him. But it says a lot about you with who you choose to sit with and be interviewed by. Like, it says a lot that Drake will not sit with Joe Budden or Funk Flex or Sway, knowing that they're the top hip hop, they're black men, they're the top hip hop interviewers, journalists, podcasts, whatever you want to say, and you are supposed to be a black man, the top rapper, the top hip hop guy. Like, either you're exclusive and don't, or like Jay-Z and just don't do interviews, but which you're not because you're doing it with Bobbi Althoff, or you value and respect Bobbi Althoff, a white woman, more than you value and respect your supposed to be your culture or the culture or black culture or rap hip hop culture and whatnot. So yeah, it's very telling, and again, it's a control thing too, because with Bobbi Althoff, it's a very controlled environment. All right, last thing I wanted to discuss about this interview is, what is the purpose of the interview? What is the purpose of Drake sitting down with Bobbi Althoff for the second time? I absolutely think the purpose is damage control. Excuse me. It's damage control, I want to say, on both fronts, to both parties. Excuse me. Because Bobbi is cleaning up her career because she just what is it called? She just announced that she's no longer doing the podcast anymore. She just had a funeral for her podcast, and here she is with Drake for the second time, doing this new podcast, quote unquote. This again. And so, like, that's damage control for her. She's saving face, and also because she was under attack for presumably what's it called? Leaving her husband, leaving her kid, and whatnot, and that is her the purpose of her damage control. Am I frozen? All right, we're good. Drake's damage control is, all right, we're good. All right, we're good. Drake's damage control is obviously after the rap beef, and it's just a piss poor attempt at a damage control.
So this one is cool. You basically connect your Shopify account and it's able to pull in your product catalog. And then from there, you can actually choose.
Bobby, can we go to garden? But yeah, this is damage control in the respect of Drake's recent rap beef and his decline in his career as far as being the number one artist, being the hottest artist, being the most relevant artist and whatnot. Like after this Kendrick beef and whatnot, it has absolutely hurt Drake's career. It has not retired Drake, obviously. Am I doing too much? Is that what it is? Are we good? Hopefully you guys are hearing me well. Let's go, Bobby. Drake. Bobby Drake. Actually, maybe that'll work. Damn, it's acting nutty. But yeah, it's damage control. Like Drake has been trying to find a means to restore his popularity, and he stays on the headlines. He's staying, like, whether it's for his nails or his hair or buying Tupac's chain or like just stupid stuff, everything but music, honestly. Like he dropped 2 singles over the summer and then bitches came and went. Oh my god, did they come and went. It was what was it? The first one was What Did I Miss? And the second one was, what was the second one? The second one was with Central C. I think it's called Which One or something like that. And it's just like those, like, when have we ever seen Drake drop 2 singles over the summer and then not run the summer up and still be hot in the fall, if not in the winter? Like this whole, I don't know. It is what it is. Like, unfortunately, like that's why they say not to have idols and not to worship your celebrities and blah blah and all that good stuff and whatnot. But it's definitely disappointing as a big Drake fan to see him for what he really is, which is just not what he appeared to be for the bulk of his career. And honestly, it's very cliche and I've ignored this statement, but it's a very true statement. Drake is an actor. Drake started as an actor, and I feel like he's just really good at putting on a show and putting on a different costume or different shoes and whatnot. But eventually that gets old. And eventually people want to know not even necessarily know the real you, but people want substance. They want the real you, or they want to believe what they're being fed. They want, like, Kendrick Lamar's fans, and especially new fan base after the beef, because his shit has only skyrocketed. They value him because it's not artificial. It's not McDonald's. It's not like it's actually music that is good for your mind and good for your heart, good for your soul, and these different things of that nature and whatnot. It's like, Drake, I wish that you would sit with someone that could give you that either game or advice or whatever, or hold you accountable in some right, because you're only doing a disservice to yourself and to your fans, which is millions of people. So like you can keep dropping songs that don't, and using them, like throwing the pasta at the wall and waiting for something to stick or whatever, or you could actually like understand what's important to and what's what's valuable and what's like purposeful and whatnot, which is like the stuff that like people. He's almost 40. Like, this is the time for your music to be maturing, not your music to be like you be making music for teenagers or girls or whatever in their like early 20s or whatever. Like it's okay to make music that like that you're an OG or like sophisticated or mature. Like, try. That's what you should try. But again, if it's again, it's not a knock to his mom or whatever at all. But if Drake didn't grow up with his black family and Drake didn't have any sufferings or any struggles or any trenches or any of that, it then becomes a little bit hard to have depth. Like, if that makes sense. If you are just someone who grew up with, or actually, like, I don't know, maybe like I feel like when Drake's Take Care album, I feel like I probably had the most substance. Between the Take Care album and Nothing Was the Same was the most substance Drake has exuded in his music, I feel like. And maybe you can even say like his earlier music, like So Far Gone and Thank Me Later and whatnot. So I feel like that's it. And honestly, for years now, people have been saying that they miss the old Drake and they want the old Drake and whatnot. And I don't know, he feels like he has said on music that he feels like he's grown out of that. But you dropped, like I've said on the podcast, like you've dropped more mature music in the beginning of your career because again, you had Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Eminem, these different people you were looking up to and whatnot. Now because you're at the height of your career, that you shouldn't forget your roots, like, and what's really important. But yeah, y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Whether you see this now or in the future. With 30-minute mark, I was really supposed to be talking about Snoop Dogg and what else? Other things and whatnot. But this Drake and Bobbi dropped, so I had to hop on this and talk about this and whatnot. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all. This is 10 Lines of Podcast. Until next time, peace.